Resonate with you guys because you can see me as being one of you guys. I'm the average everyday. That's why God made me this way. I've always wondered a couple different things. I mean, never always wondered. I kind of felt like I was unique. But, everybody in my family's tall. I mean, the shortest sibling I have is my sister, who is 5'6". My oldest sister is like 5'8", almost, my height, almost 5'9". She says she's like 5'7" to tell men that, but she's really almost 5'9". And then my brother's 6 foot, but he slouches, so he tells, people like, oh, I'm barely 6 foot. If he stood up straight, he'd be like 6'1". My dad's 6'1". I always wonder, like, why am I 5'9"? You know what I'm saying? When I was younger, stuff all the time when I was younger, and he never lied. I mean, women do. They do love, a dude with a certain kind of way of walking and being somewhat bow-legged. Not bow-legged where it looks like you're riding a horse when you're walking. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe they like that too. I don't know. But, the level of bow-legged I am, because my dad would be like, if you weren't so bow-legged, I'm telling you, you'd be like at least 5'11". I'm telling you right now, you'd be like at least 5'11". And I'm just like, yeah, it is what it is. And, over time and as years have gone on, I realized that God made sure that I could be hidden in plain sight. If I would have been as tall as my brother and my father, because I know my son's going to be tall, the boy's wearing grown men size shoes now at 12. I've got a basketball player, football player on my hands here, but I realize it's my way of being able to be the lone wolf, making my moves and how I do things without being a target as easily because, men over 6 foot are targeted by most of everybody. They're targeted by women. Also, they're looked at as an automatic enemy of most men. They see them as the kind of Chad that every woman wants. Whereas I'm, 5'9", and they kind of be like, oh, this guy right here is no competition. I'm worried about this guy. That's where you mess up. And that's where you mess up. And see, that's been the story of my life, being underestimated, being the underdog. And, I want to tell you something. They call us the underdog, and they call them the Giga Chads. I don't know, I really believe it's the other way. How can 80% of the country or society be the underdog? Most of us are under 6 foot. And, I say all that to say this: God makes his messengers a certain kind of way. It's always, people that have had struggles or problems or not the most perfect or what you would assume to be a messenger of his, but still a messenger nonetheless, And I always was told, even by my father, who's a great man, and again, going in this year or so of isolation, I used to feel bad for my dad when I used to be with my ex and we leave his house and he start walking to his house. And I thought it was like a sad thing, like, he walking to his house by himself, all sad. Man, I'm telling you right now, that's a power move, man. Being able to sustain yourself, and even after your wife has passed on, and not jump into a relationship with a woman, that's a man being a man, and that's a man showing that he wanted the woman he was with. He didn't need her. And that's the reason why things worked. And my dad has always been really respectful towards me. He's always, some people have said, oh, your dad like lives vicariously through you. He really doesn't. He just respects everything that I do. And I was walking with him one time after me and my ex broke up, and he never knew how tall I was or whatever. He never really cared. And I was on a live or something, and I said something about being 5'9", and he was like, "You only 5'9"? I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "No, I thought you was like 5'11" or something. I thought you was about 6 foot." I was like, "Why would you think that?" He's like, "I don't know. I guess the way you carry yourself and your back being straight," and it always stuck with me. Cause my dad don't lie. My dad's like me, the Sigma. I didn't even realize it. He's like a first generation Sigma though. My dad puts out so many traps when he speaks. I just figured it out. Most people don't. That's why he's able to figure out what somebody's going to say and what they're going to do, because my dad lays traps. He says so much stuff. But being in isolation, I figured it out. But, the fact that my dad feels like I represent and carry myself in a way to where my energy and the way that I stand, makes me come across like a 6 foot man, goes to show that as a man, it has nothing to do with what a woman expects for you to be, or what she thinks, or what she's told, or what she's trying to tell you, and a lot of these women out, I say all that to say this: a lot of these women out here find different, matrices to try to put us in a box so that we don't feel like we're man enough to qualify, or that we need to be humbled. And they find different ways. It's not just them, but they like to do this. And you know, I've watched a few videos today where women are talking about they don't like a confident man. They don't like a man that knows his worth. They don't like a man that thinks. It irritates them. I mean, we all know it's irritating the demons in them, but it irritates them. And I've also heard women recently saying that they feel like it's their job to humble men, very boldly, just outright saying, you know, I just feel like I came into this person's life to humble them and remind them, listen, man, we're out here dealing with a culture and a generation of women who not only see you as just a job, you know, I got to be with this guy and give him, you know, some relations every now and again and talk to him so I have a place to stay or money or status. They're not looking at you as somebody that they really love and cherish and respect. And the respect part of it is the biggest mechanism that men are missing nowadays, and they don't really realize it. But that's really what you're missing, and that's the reason why you're disgruntled in your relationship, because women have gotten so good at speaking this jargon to gaslight you and make you feel like what you're asking for is crazy, and they're doing that in droves, and you're tripping, you know. And they're given every tool with society to do such, and every way to destroy you if you decide to walk away. But men are deciding that my worth has never been based off of my height, never been based off of my frame or fitness. Because I'm telling you guys, if you let them tell it, the only way to be a man is to be over 6 foot, Giga Chad with a 6-pack, over 8 inches. I don't know where the 6 inches thing comes from, because when they're doing those street, you know what I'm saying, conversations, all women are wanting like 8 and up. You know what I'm saying? Which is disqualifying some of those 6 foot and up dudes. And they want you to be making more than 100,000. Some of these women are talking about 300, $500,000. You know, they're trying to, you know what they're doing? Whether they're doing it consciously or subconsciously, what they're doing is they're trying to say there is no guy that will ever qualify for us. None of you will ever qualify for us. And guys are out here still trying to, oh, women, they're voting that they like to scruff, you know, not a full beard, and sacrificing not growing a beard because they're worried about what women want. I don't care what you are. You can be 6'4", 240, all this Giga Chad stuff, and women will still find something to say about you, because you're not supposed to be a confident man. You're supposed to be someone that needs somebody to build that confidence. And if you're confident by yourself, well, that means that you can, you know, put up boundaries, and you can, you know, say nay to this woman, to that woman, because you know that you don't need them to make you feel right. Every time I turn around, there's some content being put out saying men need women to get to that final stage and become the greatest. We don't need you to do shit, okay? There's been plenty of kings out there and emperors that have conquered, destroyed, you know, men out there, you know, back in the day, that their DNA is in half of everybody, you know, of this generation. They're not out there having a woman in their ear telling them how to be a man and what to do and making them into a greater man. That's not the way it works. That's babble being given to us because we want to feel, you know, having a woman in our corner, you know what I'm saying, makes us feel a better man. And anything in your corner makes you feel like a greater man. Your children, your woman, your accomplishments, your discipline, your fitness, you know, the way that you carry yourself, your speech, your legacy. It's not just them. But then it's like, oh, the woman makes a man into anything that a man does in his life makes him into a greater man. Anyone or anything around him that he decides to be in his realm, in his reality, should be making him into a better man. To include the woman, the children, and everything else, his kingdom that he reigns over. Now, to try to make it seem like it's just them, and we need them to make us listen, there have been plenty of females out there that have been king slayers. So to sit there and say that we need a woman, no, we need a lady a queen. We'll pick her whenever we see fit out of the options that are made available to us that presents themselves. We don't chase nothing. There is no society without men being men, deciding that they see a reality that they believe to be something that they want to manifest that would be best for them and whoever they end up, whoever ends up being in their kingdom. This is how men move. Women don't move like that. They don't look at society and say, man, I'm going to do everything I can to manifest this idea in my head into reality because I believe that this is what's best for everyone, especially everybody that's going to be in my kingdom. Women don't think like that. They just take over whatever's in place. And then they try to gaslight and destroy the previous owners, like colonization works, you know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, if you look at everything they do, it's disgusting. And if you pay attention to it, you'd be so disgusted you wouldn't engage with them in conversation. Everything that you deem to be, some kind of moniker that you made for yourselves to make yourself feel a certain kind of way and categorize yourself as a man, they take it over. You go to the gym on a regular basis as men to build yourself up. Now you have these women are like bodybuilders that just like men, a man's body, and they're taking over gyms and then doing what they do in gyms to run men off. You call yourself an alpha man. They destroy the moniker by saying that those are toxic men and then take on the moniker and call themselves alpha women. They're right here trying to find a way to make themselves Sigma women and also take on the moniker of lone wolf when what kind of woman do you want to be a lone wolf? See, they got a dilemma. They love to take over stuff and colonize things, but you can't really colonize a Sigma. You can't really just take it over because it's not toxic traits. It's a lot of good things. And a lot of it's, men holding themselves accountable. So it's like, I don't know. I can't really be a part of that group. Then we need to gaslight it. Hey, what's going on? What's going on, Godly? Yeah. I've had to start my kingdom over multiple times. I signed up for the army and at the age of 16 or 15, I can't remember, in a delayed entry program because my dad was like, you got to go to college. You stay here, you got to pay me rent. Well, I'm not going to college and getting in debt, and I'm not paying you rent. And if I go to college, then I'm going to have it paid for. So I looked my options over, found out that the GI Bill and all that, like, they could pay me to go to college? And I learned to trade while I'm in the army? I'm going to do that. You know what I'm saying? I signed up for the army. Of course, I had to do a couple tours to Iraq, but I'm anointed. I knew I was. I know I was going to make it, okay? Everybody was crying, man, like, oh, maybe go to Iraq. And I was like, I'll be fine. You know what I'm saying? I'm building my name. I mean, I just knew what I had to do. I signed up for the army at like 16. I told y'all. When my brother started our own businesses, cutting yards, a little lawnmower business where we were cutting businesses and, neighbors' yards at like 12 and 13. I've been doing this, man, for a long time. So, I went to the army and I was in it. And I'm like, I'm tired of deploying. I'm going to do something different. Where most people were just like, but dude, you've already done like your storage. You just finish out your time in the army and chill. I don't want to chill. I'm building my legend here. And then next thing you know, some job, popped up on base, like this White House job, like out of nowhere. A once in a lifetime opportunity. It doesn't go around that often. Just happened to be there. You got to have a clean record. And we started off with like, about 500 people in the auditorium to apply. And they trimmed it down to like 15. I was one of them. I wanted to start over because I was in the army and I could see, I could see how things are as a soldier at the bottom level. But I wanted to see, well, what are the big dogs doing? Like, how do they make these decisions? I wanted to see it. I've been out there pew-pewing, and getting pew-pewed at, but I wanted to see how the people that make the decisions move. So I applied for that, and once I seen it, I couldn't unsee it. The way these people move, as slow as you think these people are, they do so much in a day that it would make you people feel like you are nothing in this world. They are on it. They are moving at all times. They are always reading some kind of, message traffic or whatever. I can't say too much. I had to sign an NDA. You know what I'm saying? But they have to just get information and move on it and think on and they just have an idea in their head and they have to keep that image and they're just always going. So when you see that, you can't unsee it. You see how the top dogs move and you're like, okay, I seen at the bottom, how to work at the bottom to get somewhere. And then I got the opportunity to see at the very top. You know, like again, my chain of command when I was at the bottom was like 15 leaders, like 15, um, uh, um, officers. Yeah, officers, right? And it's like a bunch of these officers, but when I was working at the White House, it's like 3 people and then the president. So getting to see all that kind of stuff, it just changes me. So it's like, man, I just sort of feel like I can do anything. So I was doing the White House thing, and you can only do that for 5 years, and I couldn't go back to the regular Army, so I got out. Everybody was like, man, you've already done about 10 years in the Army at this point. Why not just retire? I looked at things at that time, even being a young man, I'm like, man, look, everybody I see that retires in the Army, they're walking around like O.J. Simpson, can barely move, just got my retirement, that's all that matters. No, man. Hell no. I need this face and body. There's black guys in the Army that retire and they keep shaving their face knowing that they need a shaving profile, and they let their face get torn up. What are you doing? And you gotta use that face to get women. I got a shaving profile so quick. I got a shaving profile. When I started bumping up in basic training with the razor, I'm like, absolutely not. Not my handsome face. Man, I was walking around with scruff beard in the Army the whole time. I had commanders that'd be like, Sergeant Young, you're not representing the Army well. You got a beard and you're lining it up. I'm like, first of all, it grows that way. Secondly, I need this face. I'm not retiring in the Army. Oh, you're not gonna retire? No. I need this face. I'm not gonna let you tear my face up. You've seen them guys before where their face all black and the rest of their face is brown because they got all them shaving bumps and they didn't take care of their face and they be let it just build on top. No, man. I've been making decisions my entire life for my better interest, you know what I'm saying, for the rest of my life. God has always given me that insight. You know what I mean? So when I was in the Army, I'm like, man, they doing too much. We out here running with boots on? Oh, no, absolutely not. No, we're not going for runs with boots on. That's not even, no. It's never recommended anywhere to wear boots while you're running. They're just trying to get it. No. I don't believe in that kind of macho stuff. I've already done what I got to do to prove anything like that. I'm done. You know what I'm saying? So I got out of that junk. You know what I mean? Shoot. And then I started working for the government as a civilian contractor, making all this money doing the same thing I did in the Army. I'm like, man, I'm over here, getting all kind of respect, watching these soldiers getting talked to like trash by idiots with rank. And I was like, yep, that was the right decision. You know what I'm saying? And then as a civilian contractor, next thing you know, everybody started, looking like me at my job. When I got there, everybody drove a Chevy. By the time I left, or got fired, everybody had a Ford. You know what I'm saying? Some Ford Raptors were out there too. And I'm noticing everybody around me dressing like me, talking like me. I'm not got influence. I've had that ability to notice, people changing around me from my influence. And I'm like, wait a minute, man. All my life, everybody keeps copying what I do. And I'm like, you know what, man? And I had like people I worked for that I trained ended up becoming my boss. And I'm like, how I trained her? How is she my... You know what? This equal opportunity thing is for the birds, man. You know what I'm saying? And I just, look, I got tired of it. I'm like, I'm not going to, and everywhere I go, I always make things better. The organizations, I'm like, no, I'm going to do this for myself. I'm going to do this for myself. And then that's when I decided, right after I got fired from working at the VA. But again, I got fired not because of my work performance. I mean, the guy even said, you've trained most of us. It's just because when I don't want to go to work, I'm not going to go into work. If I want to call out, I call out, and then I'm like, well, I can make up the time within the pay period, so what's the problem? Well, I mean, you just can't take advantage of the system like that. Who says? Well, you know what? Listen, man, you know how I am now. And I realized that while I was working, I got to recharge, and I can't be around people all the time. I'll be working a few days, and I'll be like, man, nah, I'm staying home. I'm staying home and recharge, and that's what I would do. And then I'd make the time up or whatever, and when they got tired of that, they fired me or whatever. But when they fired me, like, we have to do it. But they gave me their numbers and stuff, and like, if you want to get another job, just have them call me directly, and I'll, hook you up. They didn't want to fire me, they loved me there, man. They had to do what they had to do. And I had a manager there that didn't like me because I didn't take a knee. Little short dude, about 5'4", and he used to walk around, Mark, whatever his name was, Carpenter. This dude did not like me. I didn't take a knee. So I've gone through a lot of transitions in my life. And when I was going against that manager, I knew, that project manager, that going against him would end up getting me fired. I didn't care. I was like, I'm a man. You put your pants on one leg at a time, just like me. You're going to show me better than you're telling me, man. I mean, that's just not going to work out. I've had to transition so many different times. I went through like 3 or 4 government jobs for the same reason. Now, you would think, Well, just stop missing days of work. No, man. If I don't want to go in, if I don't want to work, I'm not going to work, man. I'm not a slave. You're not going to make me go in there. No, man. I know what I am. I know what I can do. And you're not going to, no, 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 no. No, absolutely not. Not with my mind being the way it is. And I know that I'm smarter than most people I work for. And I can do something of my own and make a lot of money and work less. I'm not doing that. So I just decided I'm not going to do it no more, which is probably what eventually led to my divorce. However, think about it. She was cheating the whole time. When I was at work, she was cheating and all that stuff. So if I didn't do what I did and follow God, like he said, stop working for people. Stop. That's why I kept getting fired. I'm not meant to work for nobody. You know what I'm saying? I work great. I just don't want to work for somebody else. I want to get up and post my videos up when I want to post my videos up. I want to, I'm going to set a schedule somewhat. But, part of the reason why I do them randomly, because I'm a grown-ass man. I'm going to post the videos up when I feel like posting them up. Respectfully, you guys, respectfully. But I'm going to post them up when I feel like it. I ain't obligated to do shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm a free man. And I'm gonna, take advantage of my freedom. I'm not gonna feel like, I got a scheduled video. I schedule it when I feel like it. If I don't feel like going live, I ain't going live. You know what? But when I do go live, sometimes I'll drop like 5 or 6 videos in a day. That's just the way that I am. I need that in my life. It keeps me sane. I realize that in the military, you got to have balance. You got to have organization, but you got to have a little spontaneity there too. You can't have everything overly organized because life is not like that. Life is not organized. You can't control everything. So once you try to control everything in your life, overly organizing your room, I got a room in my house that's just straight messy, man. Y'all be like, man, this dude, no, I got a room in my house that's straight messy, man. It is, I don't, put everything weights back up in the corner and no. I need organization everywhere else, but that room right there is my organized chaos. I can say, what's the target? Absolutely. And a job is what really, made me realize what conditioning was. And that's when I started having my awakening. I'm like, I keep conditioning. I got to do this and do that, and I'm doing it, and I got to still do more. I'm like, man, I can't do it, man. And I was in the military. The reason why, and my dad told me I wasn't going to make it in the military. It's like, he told me before I went in the military, I forgot about this. He said, you don't like being told what to do. My dad has always told me that. I don't know why I just now remember that. My dad has always told me that. He's like, you do not like being told what to do. All my life I've been told that you do not like being told what to do. I just remembered that, man. Oh my God, y'all. Yo. I have always been told my dad, that's when we get in all these arguments. My dad will come up with stuff for the family and I'd be like, I don't think that's a good idea. I think we should do it like this. I'd be like 12, 13, 14 years old, man. Me and my brother started cutting yards and using a lawnmower. Dad kept buying lawnmowers. I'm like, we got all these lawnmowers, I'm putting them to use. So we started cutting yards and making money and started making so much money, my dad went into business doing it. I was leading before I was even an adolescent, man, as an adolescent. That's why I decided, well, I'm gonna go in the military. And I told everybody before I went in the military, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna serve about 6 years or whatever, and I'm gonna get out, and I'm gonna do what I want. And they're like, well, man, I've always been telling people what I'm gonna do and how I'm gonna get it done. God is always showing me how to move. And I think when you just kind of like lean into your instinct, God always, as a man, I don't know what women, I'm not a woman. But as a man, when you lean into your instincts, man, God will always lead in the right path. And as a man, you go through so much in your life that you build these tools to pretty much handle any situation. And you also know to overcome any situation, it first starts by your frame of mind. And I'll tell you one thing, no matter what I've gone through, and even you guys that have watched me over the past year or so, I maintain my peace and my calm. I don't let anybody get me out of my energy. I don't care what I'm going through. I could be on the street. Being on the street means I'm still alive. And everything's functioning on my body, meaning my vessel's proper. All the rest of this crap don't mean nothing to me. So I'm going to, I'm going to overcome. And not only that, I'm not going to just survive. I'm going to thrive. No matter, you can put me in anywhere. No one's opinion. See, you have to deal with not only the pressure of making money in an economy right now where they're trying to make sure that everybody is either poor or rich. There's no in between, right? So you got to deal with that. On top of that, they deal with this social media pressure of people trying to judge you for the circumstances that you're at in that moment, as if that's what you are and that's what classifies you as a man. No. Again, I like to bring up Francis Ngannou, the UFC heavyweight champ, and also the guy that beat Tyson Fury, the heavyweight, champion of the world. He used to shovel sand in a mine. And the physique he got, shoveling the sand, is what gave him the physique to be able to beat the heavyweight champion of the world. This man knew he was destined for greatness, and he didn't just like go into being a lawyer. No, he used what he had built off the struggle that he had to go through to build what he has right now, his empire. And that's what I do. I'm going to build off the struggle I got to go through, because it's not really a struggle. It's a part of my life. It's not a down part of my life. It is a part of my life that was necessary for me to go to, for me to get to greater heights. And I would never get there if I didn't go through what I went through. And if I did get there, I'd have some goofy, crazy woman that's made it her plan to get in any way she needs to and to take as much as possible on her way out. It'll never happen again. So I had to lose on a small scale, you know what I'm saying, on a micro scale, so I didn't lose on a macro. So it's a win either way it goes. Again, another legend, Mike Tyson, when he had everything taken from him, if you notice, when he had it done, all he talked about was, if he never had everything taken, then he wouldn't have known that it was all about him and not about the stuff. He throws his belts around like it means nothing. For him to find himself and to find his peace, he had to lose everything and be stripped. And he always says, that's what makes a champion. And that's why I'm the people's champ. I'm the everyday man. I'm the average guy. I'm the guy that everybody can see themselves being or being greater than. And God makes sure that I'm anointed to show, listen, all you got to do is believe in him, put everything, you know what I'm saying, in his hands, and be a man about it. And you can do what I'm doing. It is not out of your hands. He didn't make me some anointed 6'4", 240-pound giga chad to make you feel like, even if I do, I'll never be this Olympian over here. No, he made me, you know, Mr. 5'9", you know what I'm saying, with the hard 9. You can do it too, okay? You can be just like me, you know, get in your own path, get in your own lane, maintain your masculine frame. And as a man, you are the one that's laying the grounds for how men move and how men are looked at. I don't care what women think or thought a man looked like in their daddy's time, in their older brother's time, in their uncle's time. You're showing them what a man looks like right now. Take it or leave it. Don't really care either way. We're going to do what we have to do. And if you don't get it, then we'll go overseas and find some women that do get it, like men do. We don't chase women. We just go and chase whatever we need to chase. We put ourselves in proximity, though, and we go where we're wanted, not tolerated. You know what I'm saying? We don't do stuff like this. If they're acting and speaking like, well, we don't need you, and sounds good. You know what I'm saying? It sounds nice. So we'll go ahead and take our talents overseas. And on the way out, we're going to show out. We're going to get fit. We're going to get our money up. And you're going to wish you never made the mistake of running your mouths thinking you can control men through your coochie. Men can't be controlled. Hence the reason there are men out here that still rob banks and go out and pume in churches and things of that nature. No matter how much you try to civilize, there are still some barbaric men out there, males. They can't be controlled. And on the same breath, there are some men out there that are leaders that cannot be subjugated through all of this propaganda and brainwashing they're trying to do. We can see right through it. God made us that way to see right through it. Hence the reason why men can, I'm not saying we should, get with multiple women and it not affect us the same way as women get with multiple men and they're all off balance and don't know what to do with themselves. It just is the way it is, okay? We have the seed of life in us. Now, as much as they downplay that and try to talk about the womb of life being so important, without that seed, there is nothing. And in that seed is everything. So stop playing with us. As a matter of fact, men, remember, they're never going to put up anything online that shows you how great you are. Because if they do, you're not going to buy their crap with their big brands on the front of it and their names and you're worshiping them. No, you're going to make your own crap with your own name on it, so you can worship your own name, or not worship your own name, but at least have pride in your own name, and you're not worshiping these false gods that you're doing, right? They got to keep you subjugated. Once you realize this, it's like, okay, I'm off the plantation. The women are trying to drag me back, kicking and screaming. They say they don't want us, but every time I turn around, they're chasing us down to tell us about ourselves. They're saying that they can do without us, but every time I turn around, they're trying to put themselves in proximity of us, whining and crying about what, they're mad about and what we're not. We don't care, man. We're telling you we're going overseas. We're doing everything we can outside of saying, listen, we need some laws in place to stop these American women from consistently harassing us, okay? We need some laws in place because it should not be legal for them to be able to gang stalk us online and harass us at all times, no matter what we do, whenever we're trying to say we just want to get away from you. We're literally saying we want to get away from you, and they make content all day long, gaslighting us, making fun of us, bullying us, but it's okay. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? They can do that kind of stuff. You see what I'm saying, men? You see what I'm saying? Again, remember, it's just you and God, man. You're not going to get a handout. No one's here for you. Women have all the handouts in the world. Allow them to kick and scream, and don't allow them to get you out of your masculine frame. Who cares what they say? Could you imagine trying to put in effort and money? It'd be like going to college to be a lawyer and then doing something stupid and never being able to pass the bar. These women are out here getting all these surgeries done, racking up bodies, thinking that learning how to suck a good dick means something to a man that really wants a valuable woman. We want you to barely know how to do anything. And they're sitting over here doing this and, shaving their legs and getting these wigs and all this stuff, racking up all this money. And men are like, you know what, we don't want you either way it goes. We're done. Their retirement plan is leaving. Their retirement plan, like, oh, my retirement plan, I was going to have a good timing. I'm supposed to retire off your ass. What you talking about, you going overseas, Nick? I was gonna retire off of you. You go overseas, man, what? Hell no, nah. we gotta do, no, man, listen to these fools, man. You know what I'm saying? If they built up their, any kind of self-development, they wouldn't be kicking and screaming and making all these content. And either way it goes, either whining about us leaving or they're telling us to leave. If they didn't care either way it goes, they wouldn't say nothing. We all know that women don't waste their time on people and things that they don't like or they don't find interesting. Hence the reason why 80% of men are not even in a woman's view. They don't even see you. So again, I'm not going to run this up too long. I got all the points across I needed to. Gentlemen, understand, don't ever be drugged into an argument, a panel, a discussion with a modern woman that's not married. You're wasting your time. While you're sitting there talking to her, she is getting energy off of you that she should be getting from a man that she would be with. But instead of her being with the man and doing what she needs to do to keep a man, she wants to be wild and free. And then just argue with the kind of guy that she would date online, go out with her girls, they grope each other up in the club, and then have a Pookie or Ray, Brady or Brad top her off by the end of the night. Okay? That is a modern relationship summed up. Get online and gaslight every man that don't do what they want us to do. Y'all are, and y'all are crusty and dusty and all the gymnastics, man. It's getting too crazy out here. Like, as a man with common sense and you got your money starting to stack up, and you're like, man, is it really that expensive to go overseas? Am I really just being lazy? Because if I add up the different dates I go on to, having to get, the vehicle, make sure it's cleaned up, straightened out, got to make sure that whatever you're paying for the gas for that, with gas being sky high. Then you have to pay for the date, and the date's never expensive enough for them, right? And then you're setting up, organizing, spending time that you could be putting into making money into these women, trying to keep their interest because there's like 15 other guys talking to them. Imagine if you were to take that time, put in yourself, go overseas, not with the intentions of getting a woman, but going overseas with the intention of feeling free and knowing that the energy around you is embracing you like a king. I mean, I don't see what's wrong with that. Do what you have to do. You know what I'm saying? But look, y'all, I'm not going to hold y'all any longer. I hate running it up over 30 minutes. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Hit the like button, share the live, subscribe. Make sure the like button right now more than ever. I'm freezing my ass off out here, y'all. It's raining and it's cold, but I'm still doing this because I need to be out in nature. I can't stand making those videos in the house. It's just not the same. It's not the same. The energy ain't the same, okay? But I'll do it. But it's not the same, okay? But look, y'all, I love all the ladies out there. We love y'all. We love the women out there, but there's some women that are lost, and the females are lost causes. So, find out where you want to be identified at, and that's where you're going to be stuck at, because we're not classifying you all in the same box anymore. We know there's trash females out there, just like there's trash males. And you trashy women that just happen to have the right aesthetic are no longer able to qualify because you have no kind of character. You're straight trash. You're straight trash. So don't get mad at us because we've identified you. You know, we labeled you, and we're adjusting and moving accordingly, my sisters. You know, my brothers out here, like the Africans said, my brothers out here, we have decided that we are going to take our talents elsewhere. We are blocking and deleting contact, my sisters. We are blocking and deleting contact. You know, you act funny in any kind of way, like he said, we are blocking and deleting. You get online and you whine about men all day long, including your exes, we are blocking and deleting. We are saving our money up so we can find a woman of value so that we can stick our royal rods into and possibly produce some high-level generations to come. We're not doing this anymore with this tainted supply that we have over here in the States. And we don't need that to infect our generations to come. We want to have women that have not been tainted by the modern societal setup to destroy men. We don't want that to be an imprint on our children to come. Yes, I like that, man. I hit that one, man. I'm glad I stayed on here. I'm glad I stayed on here. I'm gonna cut that out and put it in a clip. Wow, I nailed it, man. Oh, God is good. Listen, y'all, peace, love, and light. Haven't eaten all day because if I eat, I won't be as ripped whenever I'm on TikTok live. And gentlemen, if you don't know, and I'm not telling you to do this for the women, but women like ripped guys. They would rather for you to be ripped than have a bunch of muscle. I'm telling you, man. I've done my own research. They would rather for you to be ripped. All that, listen, I have a small frame. My dad has a small frame. My dad's like a surfer type of guy from Florida, you know, so he's always been that beach type of guy. He's a real lean guy, and he's always eating really healthy. My brother's built just like my dad. He runs all the time. I'm the wider, shorter frame guy, but I still have a smaller frame. Putting on that muscle, you know, it's like it's heavier, it slows me down, I can feel it when I'm working out, and it's harder to maintain. You don't have to. You can go ahead and keep your natural frame, get super ripped, build your cardio up, so you can smash those cheeks in the bedroom, and you're not over there winded. You can go for a round 2 or 3 or go get something to eat afterwards. I'm telling you, man, stop wasting your time. I'm telling you guys, and take how you want to take it, but y'all out there putting on too much muscle, you're doing it for dudes. And I'm not saying you're doing it for dudes in any kind of, I'm just saying, just like when women compete with women, you're competing with dudes, man. Women are saying this. We have to listen to them the same way we're asking them to listen to us. They don't like all that muscle. They don't. They don't. They've been saying that. So if we're going to go ahead and be men and claim that we're being fair, women don't like all that muscle. I'm telling you the truth. They've always said this. They always end up with some skinny guy they cheat on you with, or some skinny rapper or rock star that they like. They don't like all that muscle, man. They want you to be lean and trim, and they want to see the beef. So take it how you want to take it. I will never put on muscle like that ever again. I'm telling you guys, the look I go for is the Brad Pitt Fight Club look, or if I'm going to bulk, I'll go for the Brad Pitt Troy look, but I really don't, you know what I'm saying, go for the Troy look too much, because it's too much to maintain. You know what I'm saying? So the Brad, I'm telling you, ask any woman, Brad Pitt, prime Brad Pitt Fight Club over any other aesthetic, what do they pick? I'm guaranteeing you they're going to say Brad Pitt. I'm telling you, man. Not a woman I've ever asked that to has ever said differently. You know what I'm saying? So take that into consideration, y'all. Go look at the movie. Go look at the movie. Now, you ain't got to get your body fat percentage down that low, but I'm just trying to tell you. Hey, what's going on, Reggie? What's going on, bro? Exactly, brother. Stats. We're going to talk about it really quickly before I go. They want the wide shoulder to waist ratio. They want your shoulders to be way, you know what I'm saying, wider than your waist. Now, I know you guys are like, oh my God, they do want everything. But listen, if you have this aesthetic, you're super healthy anyway. You ain't got no fat on your stomach. So, you know what I'm saying? So you just really need to work out your back, your upper chest. And you ain't got to do ab exercise. I don't really do abs, man. You know what I'm saying? I do everything but abs like that. You know, I ain't trying to hurt my back or anything like that, man. Just work on yourselves, man. I'm telling you, you ain't got to bulk up. Just get lean and work on your dress game, man. Work on your confidence. I'm telling you, you know, women like that more so than the bulk. I'm telling you, that bulky thing is what men do. That's like some bromance and stuff going on. Like, no. No, women like dudes Women like dudes that are thinner. And before I go, remember, the thinner you are, the bigger your junk looks, man. I mean, let's just be real. Let's just be real. You know what I'm saying? You get in shape, man. You know what I'm saying? You got yourself going right. You know what I mean? Listen, the thinner, look, man, I'm telling you, I ain't gonna go into detail because, you know, no homo. But I mean, again, the thinner you are, the better you look overall for women. You know what I'm saying? Let's just say that. Not sick thin, but just, you know what I mean, healthy. Anyway, y'all, I'm gonna get off of here. Peace, love, and light. I'm gonna get on TikTok and work out, ladies. So make your way over there. Your boy is out of TikTok jail. They banned me over there. I learned something new. You can't talk about certain things on TikTok just like over here. But appreciate y'all, love y'all. I might be back on here later on. I'll definitely be on one of my other channels. Absolutely. So make sure that you go into the description and subscribing to the channels in there because I pop up on all of them. Love y'all. You know, remember, I'm your brother. Stay blessed.